Can cats actually be vegetarian or vegan? The long and short is you can be vegetarian or vegan if you want to and have a cat, but your cat cannot be vegetarian or vegan because they are obligate carnivores. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Catster YouTube channel with me, Dr. Luqman, over here bringing you a new cat topic of discussion. Now, before we get into today's topic, this is your friendly reminder to please do hit that subscribe button. Please do leave us a like, and of course we welcome any comments you have for us. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, in today's topic, we're going to talk about vegetarianism and veganism for cats. This is actually an interesting topic because in recent years, many people are going vegetarian or vegan for various reasons, obviously. Some people like to do it for their health. Some people have personal goals. Some people do it for reasons that they attribute to environmental awareness, climate change, etc. And some people just do it for religious reasons or cultural reasons or customary periods of, a few weeks or months where they go vegan or vegetarian. But this brings up an interesting question where some people who are vegetarian or vegan wonder if their cats can also be vegetarian or vegan. The reason this is actually probably on the rise these days in terms of an actual query or question or a big picture kind of thing is because many people do associate their pets as part of their family. So they feel like, as a family unit, they would like to take part in something together. Other people are just curious to learn more, and some people are very, very against having meats or animal products in their house if they are vegetarian or vegan. For some people, the smell really throws them off. For other people, they find it really, in a way, they feel it contaminates their house or it contaminates surfaces in their kitchen, like their kitchen countertop, etc. Or they're just not comfortable having meat in their house, yet they do have a cat. So, how do these people approach this situation? And can cats actually be vegetarian or vegan? The long and short is you can be vegetarian or vegan if you want to and have a cat, but your cat cannot be vegetarian or vegan because they are obligate carnivores. Now, an obligate carnivore is also known as a hypercarnivore, is a type of carnivore that needs a very high amount of animal meat in their diet. Typically, around 70% or so is the minimum amount of food that they consume that should be of another animal. So this can be the flesh of another animal, the bones of another animal, the internal organs of another animal, or even in some cases, stuff like other animals' eggs and stuff like that. Long story short, cats cannot survive on a vegetarian or vegan diet. This is because plants lack certain nutrients that are considered essential in a cat's diet. Now, an essential nutrient is something that the body requires but cannot make itself. So it has to acquire it from whatever the animal eats. So let's dig into this topic in a little bit more detail and thoroughly analyze why cats cannot be vegetarian or vegan. Now, first things first, if you do have a cat and you watch them eating, or the next time you feed them, you might be surprised to realize that cats actually do not chew their food. And many animals that are herbivores chew their food for a very long time before they actually swallow it. Cats lack the ability to actually chew food like how we chew food or how many other herbivores chew their food. Cats have those long fangs that you see are actually called canines. Now, these are actually meant to hold their prey in place and also used for asphyxiation. So they clamp down on the windpipe of their prey. And they have, their incisors are there as well, but they're very, very, very tiny. They're in between the canines. But the most interesting teeth that a cat has are actually ones that you probably have not seen, which are towards the back of their mouth, which are called their carnassials. Carnassial teeth are actually self-sharpening. So they can sharpen themselves. And these teeth are actually meant to shear and cut whatever the cat is trying to bite onto. So in most cases in the wild, this would be whatever, flesh the cat is digging into. But the point here is a cat cannot actually chew food. And many vegetables that, or fruits, many vegetable fruits and grains that herbivores eat require a lot of mastication or chewing, and cats actually don't chew. So their dental structure is actually not even adapted to that of a herbivore. Furthermore, there are many ingredients that cats actually cannot derive from plants. Taurine is the most important in all of these. So taurine for cats is an essential amino acid. That means that cats cannot naturally produce enough taurine in their bodies to meet their metabolic needs. Therefore, they need to acquire it from their diet. Now, taurine is very high in many sources of meat, particularly red meats, and it is also exceptionally high in some organ meats. So, for example, chicken hearts have a lot of taurine, and generally speaking, red cuts of some animals tend to have more taurine than others. For example, chicken thighs have more taurine than the breast, but the point being that plants do not have taurine, and cats need taurine in their diet. So if you feed a cat a vegetarian or a vegan diet, they will become deficient in taurine. And this is actually very, very detrimental because it can lead to a plethora of problems. Taurine is actually used throughout a cat's body for many, many metabolic processes. And the consequences of not having enough taurine are very drastic. And some animals may even, for example, go blind without taurine. So this is not something that you should be taking lightly. Your cat's requirements for meat are an absolute must. Another important thing to consider is the form in which some vitamins are present in plants. And the best example of this is vitamin A, which cats actually need in their diet. Now, there are a lot of plants that are actually rich in vitamin A. It's also known as beta-carotene, which is in fact what gives many plants their colors, like their striking colors, are actually due to beta-carotene. Now, if you were to open a nutritional page about any foods meant for human consumption, you would inevitably run across the term beta-carotene, and this fruit or this vegetable is high in vitamin A because it has beta-carotene. And that is not wrong, because as humans, we can actually use beta-carotene as a precursor to make our vitamin A. Cats, however, cannot utilize beta-carotene to make vitamin A. So, for example, carrots are high in vitamin A, but that is in the form of beta-carotene, the precursor. So if a cat actually eats carrots, they're not getting the benefits of vitamin A because they cannot utilize the vitamin A. So therefore, there are many vitamins that might be present in plants or fruits that are just not able to do what you think they might do for your cat. Another interesting point to consider is that many fruits and vegetables are actually high in vitamin C, which we humans love because we cannot make our own vitamin C. So for us, we have to consume vitamin C from our diet, or if you're me, from an effervescent tablet every morning. And we don't make our own vitamin C. So anytime there's a fruit that's very high in vitamin C, it's a very, very natural, thing for us to be interested in it. So many fruits are marketed as being rich in vitamin C, and it's very beneficial for us. Now, interestingly, this is where cats actually have us beat, because cats, like so many animals, in fact, can make their own vitamin C. So unless a cat has like severe liver issues, or unless a cat is severely ill, they actually don't really need vitamin C added to their diet because they can make it themselves. So, you might say, oh, this fruit is very high in vitamin C, this is beneficial for my cat. But your cat actually doesn't need that. They can make their own vitamin C. So that sort of like appeal of many fruits and vegetables is actually lost when it comes to trying to feed your cat these things. Another thing to consider is that many fruits and vegetables are actually, high in fiber. And they are considered a source of fiber, which is good for us. It's good for some other animals. And many animals do, in fact, have a fiber requirement in their diet. But interestingly enough, cats don't have a strict fiber requirement in their diet. So if you go to any feed regulatory authority, for example, in the US, this would be AAFCO, they have guidelines for what should be in a pet's food for it to be considered nutritionally adequate for that pet. They actually don't have a fiber requirement for cats in a strict sense. So, fruits and vegetables, yes, they contain fiber, but a healthy cat doesn't necessarily have a specific fiber requirement in their diet. That's not to say that, in commercial formulations, the inclusion of fiber might be beneficial. Yes, it might be beneficial in some context. It can add, bulk to the meal. It can add in fecal bulk as well. It helps, move things along. But strictly speaking, cats actually do not have a requirement for fiber in their diet. So again, that's another, big draw of plants that is eventually lost, because cats do not require, cats cannot utilize the vitamin A, the form that is present in plants. They don't need vitamin C in a strict sense, and they don't need the fiber either. So this leaves us with most vegetables and fruits being comprised of water, which your cat can get, again, from their diet or just by drinking, and, some sugars, which it usually gives many fruits their sweetness. And cats actually, don't have a need to get carbohydrates in that way. They have a very good ability to, make carbohydrates via de novo synthesis, meaning they can actually use protein to make, carbohydrates within their body. They can also derive energy from fats, animal fats, because cats are actually very efficient at this. So ultimately, vegetables and fruits fall into this weird category of not being beneficial for cats, A, and being dangerous for cats because they deprive cats of some essential nutrients, B. One more thing to consider is when it comes to fats. So cats do have a requirement for fats in their diet. For most healthy adult cats in maintenance, the minimum requirement is 9% of their diet be fats on a dry matter basis. So this actually means that, cats cannot be deprived of fats in their diet. And again, it's important to remember that guidelines are usually a minimum, which means that cats can safely consume more without, detrimental health effects. But fats are also interesting because although some vegetables and fruits might have some, minute amount of fats, the fats that are found in vegetables and fruits are not essential for cats. But there are fats that are found in animal products that are essential for cats. Now, linoleic acid is one of them. It's actually also essential for dogs. And the second one that is very important for cats only, but not dogs, is arachionic acid. Now, cats cannot make this themselves, so they have a need for this, in their diet. And this cannot be found in plants either. So we have learned that cats should not be, maintained as vegetarians or vegans because plants are either dangerous in the sense that they don't offer cats complete nutrition, or they are unnecessary because even if they are something a cat can consume, they likely are not able to derive meaningful nutrition from it. In addition, it's important to keep in mind that some plants are actually toxic for cats. And some fruits that are very popular with humans are actually really, really toxic for your cat. Avocado is chief amongst these. So you should never feed your cat avocado. There are other plants that are commonly used as herbs and spices. Leeks, onions, garlic are very toxic for cats. Garlic is in fact 3 to 5 times more toxic than onion, but you should never offer your cat either. And cats are in fact most sensitive to the toxicity associated with garlics, onions, leeks, and other plants in the allium family. Now, there are people who are vegetarian or vegan who would like to have a pet and not have meat in their house. This is perfectly understandable and fair. We definitely don't want people to feel like there are rules against them. But for such people, what I do recommend is to just get a pet that is vegetarian or vegan in the first place. Rabbits are a very good example of this. A rabbit is going to be perfectly fine if they're on a vegetarian or vegan diet. Guinea pigs are another really popular example. So guinea pigs are exclusively herbivores. So they should not be offered any meats in their diet. So if your guinea pig is offered a vegetarian or even a vegan diet, because most of the time they'll just be eating hay, they'll be very happy. So I always recommend people who want a vegetarian or vegan cat to drop the idea because that's not fair to the cat. It can actually even be considered animal cruelty in some parts of the world because there are laws in some parts of the world that say that you must offer cats meat. And I just tell them to get a pet that is vegetarian or vegan. Now, if you're into fish like I am, there are many fish that are also actually, pure herbivores. Contrary to popular belief, not all fish are omnivores. Some are carnivores and some are herbivores. Autos, for example, if you're, into a fish tank, a school of autos would love being in your house as a vegan. And so there are options to work around to find a pet that is vegan or vegetarian and is, for you. And one more note, though we are Catster as a veterinarian, I feel like it's important to point out dogs should not be maintained on a vegetarian or vegan diet either. Contrary to popular belief, dogs are actually not omnivores. They're actually facultative carnivores. They have a lower requirement for meat in their diet when compared to cats, but they should never be kept on a vegetarian or a vegan diet as well. So if you were wondering, since I can't keep a cat, can I get a dog? Because dogs are popular obviously all over the world, and make them vegan or vegetarian. The answer is unfortunately no. So with that, we come to an end for this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Once again, this is me reminding you to please do subscribe to us. Please do leave us a like and a comment. And for now, Dr. Luqman signing off, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys. Because these diets... Okay, we can do this, Let's go, Catster! Okay. Waiting for my mind to slow down. Like, it's on 4th gear. Whatever gear that is, I drive an automatic. Okay. Oh, this day, my ADHD, Lord Jesus, take the wheel, take it from my hands, 'cause I can't do this on my own. I'm letting go. Bye-bye.